What's up, everybody? It's October 20th, 2022. I'm going to try and get through this fast. I feel terrible today. And this probably, this is a level of resistance for sure, but I don't know about this support down here. I don't know what is going on there. It's probably like that. So, anyway, let's take a look at these trades. Really just a range day overall, you can see, but we broke lower than the overnight lows. So you get this second entry right here, but I think you would have had this trend channel, and you might have even had it as an overshoot. I think I had mine like this. So yeah, originally I had mine like this, and that would make sense with this bounce right here. Maybe that's a midline, but even still we get an overshoot. So not the greatest signal bar either. In the end, maybe it's up here. But when you get this failure right here, I like that very much. And it withers out. I bet that is an overshoot. I bet that is an overshoot. What did I have? Like this or something. I bet that is an overshoot because we get a break right there. And sometimes I'll see that where you get an overshoot, comes back in, and you get another overshoot before the break. But I do like this setup right here. And then we come down here, and then we just start getting a little choppy. And we form this range by around the opening. And some people might have gotten fooled on this failure, but this is very congestive and range-like. And we're making... from here, actually from here, lower high, lower high, lower high. So not a good idea, I don't think. You get the second entry short at this price level, but not a good signal bar. I might have taken that if it closed on its low. And we're still chopping around, and then you get this technically second entry short, but you're going into support. And when we break lower, and that's a second entry long, maybe you take that. But the bias is down right now. Then we start moving up, and I had this channel drawn. So this kind of looks like a second entry to me. So I like that one. And if you don't take that, you get this failure off that trend channel shortly after. Then we come up here, and you get a first entry, second entry, but I was playing this channel, so looks like we got a break, so it might be too early. That might be one leg of correction. And it turns out we're in this larger channel, and you get this move up. That's a really good trend. It's a really nice trend. We get a break, move to a new high. Then it comes down here and corrects. You get a second entry long, but it's in no man's land, and it's a bad signal bar. You get a higher low right here, and that's actually a failure. So, oh, whoops. Is that how I would have had it drawn? I think this is how I would have had it drawn. So I like this. I'm going to mark it green because it doesn't quite touch that EMA, and you're going into the highs, but it looks pretty good. Come up here, second entry long. It just had a range feel, even though we're in an uptrend, and that's not a great signal bar, and that looks like one leg down. So that's how you could have stayed out of that. We get the second leg down, and then we form a range. And very choppy. That's a second entry, but you're going into resistance, and we're just flip-flopping. Get a failure, but it's too far from the EMA. Nothing there. It's just a first entry. You get a first entry, failed second entry short. I like that. I don't know if I should mark it blue, but it looks like a failure with room to this high. That's why I like it. And then it turns out this is a trend line. Finds resistance up here. And Maybe you take this, but that's risky. That's very congestive. All inside bars. And then we just drop down. Too far from the EMA. Here, this looks like a failure. I don't like the way this looks personally, but I think it is a failure. You might argue for that to be green because this is congestion over here, and that looks like it's in the middle of it. Then you get a second entry short right here. I like that because it looks like we're in a downtrend at that point, and then you get a failure right here. But it's going into the lows, so it's a bit aggressive. And then we move into this flatter channel, and really this is probably just a range. So I don't see much in here, but you get this. This kind of looks like a second entry short, but it is a failure. It's just aggressive. This is super choppy and congested, but if you trust that trend line, maybe you take that. And then we work lower, and you know what? This is actually a failure, and this is a better one, but that's still aggressive because we're going into the lows right there. New low, first entry, second entry short, good setup. Lower high, it's also a failure, but again, you're in a range and you're going into the lows, and we just had a double test right there. Second entry short, bad signal bar, in no man's land, and eventually that leads to a break. And I like this setup for a failure, but you only get like 5 ticks, so be careful. This looks like a second entry, but I'm waiting on a new low, so looks like we do get that new low. Not a good setup right here, too far from the EMA, but it looks like a failure, but it's not. Now I'm seeing this swing high, or new high. And then you get this. I looked at this as a double bottom because this is very congestive. First entry, second entry, and that being the case, maybe you even look at this as part of the double bottom, first entry, second entry. So yeah, I think you can take those. But that's how I saw it today. I hope everyone had a great day. I'll be back tomorrow.